Come out to the coast, we'll get together, have a few laughs.
Come out to the coast, we'll get together, have a few laughs.
Welcome back to the Ruby Tuesday. Today we are reviewing something really interesting. And when I say we, I mean me. Maybe you can help me review it. Oh my gosh, I'm too tired. What a great start. So SAS Red Notice is in the UK a Sky original movie, and it runs at about 2 hours. It's based off an SAS novel by Andy McNab, who is an ex-SAS. And so if you like action films, you're probably going to enjoy this. Do give me a thumbs up, comment down below which is your favorite Andy McNab film adaptation or even book. But for now, let's get into it. A small army of well-trained criminals, led by Laszlo Antonov, hijacked the Eurostar deep beneath the English Channel. Directed by Magnus Martins and stars a cornucopia of actors you will recognize. So Sam Heughan plays Tom Buckingham. He is our main protagonist hero guy that, has kind of plot protection. He can take a beating and keep on ticking. This film is Die Hard on a Train, basically. It is definitely one of those films also that every time you see someone pop up on screen, you'll be like, I know that person from that film I saw one time. What's her name again? What's his name again? It is filled with a cornucopia of some A-listers, some not so much, some that you've seen in loads of TV series. Ruby Rose. There's just a cornucopia, Noel, Clarke, of just amazing talent in this. So every time you see somebody pop up, you're like, I like that person. Oh, I wonder what their role's going to be in this film. It feels like the director called every kind of card they wanted to be like, hey, I'm doing this film with Andy McNab. It's an action superstar film. They got a decent budget. It's a Sky original. Don't you want to come and join? They'll be like, yeah, calling all your favors, all your friends in the entertainment sector, all your active friends. And this is what we end up with. I would say that this film doesn't change the genre. It doesn't do anything dramatic or different. However, it is a lot of fun to watch. There are sequences in here that when it comes to action sequences, they do a few things surprising. Action sequences and close combat, kind of. Lots of gunplay. Like I said, Die Hard on the train, and then this stuff that goes on around there. It sets up the film at the beginning. You know kind of who the bad guys are, but I quite like that about this film. You think you know who the bad guys are, and then it plays with, wait a minute, is what they're doing wrong? And then you're like, yeah, all of what they did was wrong, but maybe the reason they're doing it is like you're following orders and they're trying to bring light to what's actually going on in the deep underbelly of the government system. And so that plays into it as well. And so you have your good guy who's also following orders, and you're wondering, who should I be rooting for? Is there actually any a good guy? And then when we have our main protagonist as well, he's a fairly complicated dude, as in he's a killer through and through, and so that's why he's on this elite special force team where he can go and kill people, at least get told to. He has that switch, and the person that he's going out with, who's another person, you'll be like, I know her, she's amazing in that that sci-fi show that I love. And she kind of mentions to him that he is broken. He's a broken man because he never actually shows any emotion or remorse for the things that he does. And I would say, yeah, that's fairly accurate, but you wouldn't expect any different. I think they wouldn't be allowed to talk about it. So the fact that he does talk about some of the things, I'm like, unless she's been read in, that would be highly irregular. You get to see them play a little bit with that character, give him a little bit more depth. So when he is doing the killy thing, and that person's going to get shot, and this person's going to have that broken arm, and that person's going to go tumbling down this tunnel, you care a bit more than the average Skorpskiet Donor as in Afrikaans, where it's a kill, shoot, and kill, something translated like that in Afrikaans. A typical film, you know what to expect when you go into this film. So having that little depth does help, and I quite enjoyed that. I was surprised by how much I enjoyed this film, though, and that's not because it stands above the rest with the cornucopia of action films like that. I would say that a clear positive in this film is the score. And so this is your average TV movie, although average TV films have come a long way in the last 10 years. I probably wouldn't watch this at the cinema, but everybody's got massive TVs now, good sound systems, and so when you get a TV movie with a budget, you expect something decent, and I would say it is your kind of average TV movie, or above average TV movie. However, when it comes to the score feels so epic and so big and large that it feels like it's a feature that has a bigger budget than it actually does. It feels like it's been scored by some of the big names like Hans Zimmer. It just feels that good. And so the score is definitely a character that elevates this film, in my opinion, to a higher level than if it was just a generic TV score. The score is outstanding and it elevates the film that little bit more. There are things that let down this film as well. There's some incredibly bad dialogue moments that somewhere got past in the scripting and someone said, I know, they should say this now. And for some reason, some people would sign off on that dialogue and they're like, yeah, that's totally a very cool dialogue moment. And you're like, it's cringeworthy moments in dialogue. You're just like, that they wouldn't say that. That's just for show, for the cool guy pose. Here's the hero pose. It's that kind of moments in this that I think just kind of de-elevates it. So the action is great. The special effects are excellent. Some of the chase sequences are very cool. You have those gunplay. That's all fun. The characters, in the action characters in this, we've seen Ruby Rose in things like John Wick. We know she can hold her own, and so we have people with presence on screen, but you also have the generic good guy and bad guy, and you know who's going to end up being good. There's no massive twists in it that you probably wouldn't see coming. I think by the time you hit the halfway through, you kind of know how this film's going to end and you know what's going to happen. However, that's not to say it's not enjoyable. I did enjoy it. So I would give this a C+. Maybe a B-, probably C+, because there were some things that let it down. Namely, one of the biggest things, the ending. So this is where I'm going to talk about the ending. So you've heard me give my review. Let me know in the comments below, which is your favorite action film like this? Or which film have you seen recently that is action like this, like a Die Hard type film that let you down? I think Die Hard is one of the best. I would say A, Die Hard the best, B, Die Hard with a Vengeance. Love those two. Die Hard 2 is so okay. We get to that bit where we have Tom, who is now being married. But just before that, she basically said no to his proposal. And then suddenly he cries and she's like, oh, he does have emotion. That means he isn't the rock hard killer that I thought he was this whole time, and then ends up marrying him. So that was a real quick turnabout. Ugh. And it killed my set. So she obviously wanted to marry him straight away, and she was just looking for an excuse. At least that's in the movie. I just thought it was such a weird turnaround. She went through all this emotional, but no, I can't marry you. You and I both know you can't be married because of blah blah blah. And then he has this single tear, and she's like, oh, he's a human after all. He's not an android killing machine. And so she marries him. But that's not the ending bit I'm talking about. You might be a bit confused as he gets a call from Andy Serkis, and they're like, I found the money. It's exactly where you said it was going to be. And you're like, oh, cool, they're going to go and hunt. He's going to go hunt, and he doesn't get to have a honeymoon. So Tom's like, can I go? And she's like, take him down. I know who you are. Kill him. Take him out. You're like, okay, she's really embraced that killership of his. And so you think that it's going to cut to him maybe going to take out he's kind of his best friend in his special forces team. But however, it zooms out with the camera. We've had that long drone shot. We've had the credits crawling on the bottom. And then we hear the message saying red notice. So for all intents and purposes, it looks like they're going to take out his best friend, maybe with the money, and then take him out as well because he knows too much. It does feel like that's what's going to happen. Whether we get a second part to this and the story continues, I don't know. I'm sure there's scope to take it or maybe turn it into a series. But I just thought, wow, that's such a weird ending to kind of de-elevate it. What were you going for there? Was that supposed to be a big surprise? And we're like, oh no, they're going to kill him anyway? I did feel like it also didn't know when to end. So I did enjoy this, but I was just like, ugh, what were you trying to do with this ending? So apart from the cheesy dialogue and the weird endings, there is stuff to enjoy here. Let me know your kind of favorite moments in this. For me, I would say it was the tunnel bit, when they were using their gas mask and just flowing through that tunnel. I don't know if that would even work. I don't know how they stopped themselves at the end. Who knows these things? I guess they just turn off the machines and they stop flying through the air in the tunnel, I guess. That was a pretty cool moment. I like the idea of it. I'm not so sure it was the best ever, but it's just a fun, no-nonsense action flick that you can just stick on and, you know, forget. It's kind of a one-time watch. Thanks so much for watching this review. I've got another action review here that's on Netflix currently, and I have another action review over here that's on Amazon currently, so let me know what you thought about those. But most of all, until next time, remember, live long and Tuesday. Oh my gosh, instant headache.